Alright guys, I know I'm not pumping out that much content as I usually am. Don't worry, I'm going to do a kind of a catch-up review of a lot of TV shows and movies that I just haven't had the time to review because I've been in and out of surgery, in and out of the hospital, in and out of the doctors for the past 2 months. I guess it was a lot slower process for my appendix than I thought it would. Regardless, today I'm going to be giving you my review for the highly anticipated next entry in the DCEU or DCU, whatever they're calling it. Shazam! So Shazam follows the story of Billy Batson. He's this orphan who's been moving from town to town, getting in trouble, trying to basically find out about his foster parents. You know, typical orphan stuff. After trying to find his mom in the Philadelphia area, that comes to a dead end too. So the cops catch him and they put him in this foster home. And he just doesn't like it. He doesn't fit in. One of the girls calls him her brother, and that really got to me. I'm sorry. And then he's kind of a dick about it. So regardless, Billy Batson does not like this situation and he just wants to get out of it right away. But as shown in the trailers, there comes to a point where he just can't take it anymore. He sees his, so to speak, foster younger brother getting beat up on, and that's when this movie just changes completely. Billy Batson beats up the bullies a little bit. The bullies start to chase after him. He runs down to the subway station, and all of a sudden you see the lights flicker. You see everything grow cold, the doors open, and he ain't at 30th Street Station in Philly, I'll tell you that much. Long story short, he meets this wizard that will only bestow his powers onto someone who's worthy, someone who's pure of heart, and that person is Billy Batson. So all he has to do is say the magic words and he gets those powers. Shazam! So the first thing I want to talk about is what worked for me. And that's going to be the only thing I'm going to be talking about because everything in this movie worked for me. I loved it, guys. Now, when you see the trailer for this, you might be thinking it's just some cookie-cutter superhero movie. Superhero gets powers, he's an orphan, he's destined for greatness, fights bad guy, boom, end credits scene. But, not gonna lie, that is the basic formula for this film, but there's so many different twists and turns, so many things that kind of break that superhero cliche, and a lot of things that poke fun of superhero cliches. Just makes this feel like a completely unique film. I know what you guys are thinking. Is this connected to the DCEU, or is this kind of going to be a standalone film like the new Joker movie coming out is? And it's connected to the DCEU. There's very tiny little subtle references, a little nod at the end of the film, but you still overall get that vibe that it's still part of that universe with Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller. Maybe, I don't even know what's going on with that movie. So let's start off with the casting. Ashel Angel and Zachary Levi play Billy Batson / Shazam, and they're completely great. It's neat to see just how Billy Batson, Ashel Angel, evolves into the Zachary Levi Shazam character, because when you see Billy Batson, I mean, you can tell he wants to have fun. He wants to enjoy things in life, but there's just so much bringing him down in the real world that he just doesn't have that mindset that he can be free. But when he turns into Shazam, he's just completely free. He wants to do everything he never got the chance to do, and he just has so much fun with this character, and Zachary Levi sells it. It's big with the superhero aspect. There's a lot of stuff that Zachary Levi pulls off so well about being a kid in an adult's body. There's little things where they're trying to test out if he has super strength or not, and instead of just trying to lift a car or a building, he's literally just going up to an oil drum and be like, click. There's even a scene involving a strip club, and I'll let you guys see it for yourself. Jack Dylan Grazer from Stephen King's It reboot is in this film. I actually met him at a convention once, and he's a super cool kid. It was right before Shazam was coming in. I can just tell he was really pumped about it, and he did a really good job in this movie. He's so sarcastic, and there's a lot of times where you just really feel for his character. I mean, there's a lot of people in actual real-world life that have disabilities, bad legs, messed up arms, stuff like that, and people don't really know what it's like to be in their shoes, and this movie really touches upon that, and sometimes I just like, damn, I never thought of it that way. So you really get a sense of how Freddy feels, and he's just so obsessed with the fact that Billy is a superhero now, and he wants to do everything with him. He wants to make him famous. He wants to be popular because as a handicapped kid, he gets bullied in school and he's just fed up with it. Finally, he has something that makes him cool. I won't mention them all, but there's a few other girls and guys in the foster home. One girl's like 4 years old. The other one's in college. She's worrying if she's going to get into this prestigious school or not. So it's neat to see all these kids in the foster home interacting, and they all have their little different subplots that are peppered into the film, and it all flows really well. People are wondering how Mark Strong did it in this film as Thaddeus Savannah, and he did a good job. It wasn't anything on like Thanos level or General Zod in Man of Steel, but it was a good villain. You got a little bit of backstory with him, and you kind of saw it from his perspective and how easy it is to become a villain. It's nothing groundbreaking, but I was still really entertained by his villain. And there's some dark shit that his character does. It's like, oh, did he just do that? Now let's touch upon location. Just because I'm a Philly boy, I live right outside the city, and the whole movie takes place in Philadelphia. Now, they only filmed in Philly for about one day, and it's the scene where they're at the art museum. You see in the trailers, he's shooting lightning up in the air and stuff like that on the art museum steps. And the one thing I will say that they nailed is the overall feeling of Philly. Like, even though they filmed most of the school shots, the house shots, all in Toronto, for the most part, the CGI'd Philly skyline, there's little references to certain popular eating places in Philly. And like I said, pretty good job. Certain things like the SEPTA logo, our local bus and train transit system, the logo is messed up. I mean, only people like me and anyone else who live around this area will nitpick at shit like that. No one else will notice that. I also thought it was weird in the film that the subway station is literally right under the school. I've no clue what school has that in real life. The one thing I thought I was going to hate at the beginning of the movie, it deals with Billy Batson and his foster parents, and I really didn't like the way they portrayed it at the beginning of the movie, but then they followed up with it about 2/3 of the way through, and I won't say how, but just, it's very different than you see from any other superhero, fantasy, or sci-fi movie out there, and you're just like, well, shit. And I was super happy. I saw it in IMAX, so free comics. The soundtrack was even great for this film. When you saw the layer that Shazam was in, you just felt this sense of wonder and awe. All the other music was great. The soundtrack choices, you had Queen in certain moments of the film, and even the trailers, the marketing for this movie, they were doing Kendrick Lamar and Eminem, and all of it fit with the character so well. This movie was entertaining as hell. It had an amazing soundtrack. It fit the character so well. When the soundtrack wanted to be epic, it was epic, and you really felt that. The special effects were good. The humor was so on point. And all around, the cast did a great job. And it's probably the most fun I've had with a superhero movie in months. And I will say, the only thing, and it's not even a big thing at all, is they never really established his superhero name in the film. I know in the trailers you see him named Captain Sparkle Fingers and Red Cyclone and all this other stuff. And he does say Shazam in the film, and I know in the comics his name is Shazam, but no one ever really calls him that in the movie. I was really hoping for like a, well, hey, how about Captain Marvel? Hey, you can't take that name, it's already been used. Even though Shazam's original name was Captain Marvel. Anyway, there's 2 end credit scenes, so guys, enjoy yourself. And just go see this movie. Give it all the money it deserves. IMAX, Dolby Cinema, RPX, whatever. 9.5 out of 10.